The 1.0 kindergarten teacher was enrollment-based. That was at the Hood. We do not need that position at this time. The .2 German language class that was cut, Mr. Bernard is not looking for that to be reinstated, so that's a no at this time. The paraprofessionals' work year was reduced by 2 days, and that was a cost-saving measure. And this year they worked 181 days, and we're looking to continue that. And the school year was reduced for students by 2 days. You know that the state requirement is 180 days, and we're looking to maintain 180 days.
I think this is the third year for 180 days. We used to go 182.
Yes, I was told
Which I would
that.
love to get back to 182, because I think the more days the kids are in school, the better. But again, that was a cost-saving measure. Don't have
That's
to open
correct.
the buildings,
That's correct.
et cetera, et cetera.
So that's what the staffing looks like if we start to project out from next year forward.
I just wanted to comment on the technology. I don't know if you saw it, but last week I sent you an email on
Yes.
the Wayland School District. This again gets to the whole inequity of public education in Massachusetts. They have almost an identical number of students as we have. They probably have 5 times. They had a technology department. It had like 10 or 12 people.
I know.
They had technology specialists at every school, as you're asking for. They had 5 or 6 within the district. They had a head of technology who, unlike Patrick, was just the head of technology, not the head of academic services. Oh, and yeah, technology too.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't miss the boat on technology. There are a lot of things we can do that don't require technology, but our kids have to be prepared for a technological age. So I think this is going in the right direction. It's a lot of money, but we need, I know Patrick's working hard. I know Michael's working with Patrick on the technology committee. But we need a plan that implements a lot more technology staff and personnel.
And the instructional technology teacher that we're asking for is not somebody to be teaching students in a lab. It's somebody that's highly skilled in the integration of technology into instruction.
Which is what, right.
For staff and for students.
Which is what we need.
And we need to make sure that teachers know how to use the technology that's available to them to maximize the benefit for our students.
Right.
So that's what we're looking for. And I did send the Wayland information to Patrick, and he said yes to everything. He'd love that budget.
And then the one last comment I'll make is, the difficulty is we've had increasing enrollments for many years. We're now declining slightly, leveling, declining, leveling, but we're looking to add positions. So people look and say, but wait, your enrollments are declining. Well, these are positions that we should have had 5 years ago. That's the problem. We've never added them. It's always been a case of catch up.
You've been maintaining and
Right.
catching up.
Right.
So this is a restoration as well as an expansion vision for staffing.
I think it's good to have in mind for our budget workshops, et cetera. Any other comments or questions? Concerns? Any concerns, probably? Well, it's a good comprehensive look. I think for a preliminary budget, it's outstanding, the level of detail. Thanks, Kathy, for giving us some insight into what we'll be looking for in the next few years. I think before we end tonight, we should try to schedule a budget hearing, try to schedule our budget workshop. Well, yeah, maybe we can do it now, because our meeting on the 14th, we have to be at the special town meeting. We'll be there as a committee, so we can't have a regular meeting that night. Well, we could, but we'll be at town hall. We'll be at the high school that night. We can meet at 6 before, so we won't really have a big agenda that evening, I wouldn't think.
So are you saying that we will meet at 6 o'clock on the 14th at the high school?
Maybe we could go, actually,
I won't be there.
right.
So.
Should we just do it 6:30? I don't think, will we have a big agenda that night?
No.
Let's just meet at 6:30.
There's only one issue, right?
Right. Well, we'll meet at 6:30
Yeah.
ahead of time in case we have any issues that come up between then.
At the high school.
Right. Then the 28th, is that the night we're at the batch?
The 28th, we are at the Batchelder School.
I think we should schedule a budget workshop in between the 14th and the 28th to get into the details. Because we've got to start talking about how we would cut if we have to. We've got to start thinking about that. Where if we had to cut anywhere between $400,000 and $650,000, how would we do that?
So that was my question to you, doing this for the first time in this district. Are we walking away at this point as maintaining what we've presented to you this evening, or are you charging us to go back to the administrative council to start developing a contingency plan? I'm
I
waiting to
think we
take
forge
direction.
ahead with a level services budget, just like we did last year.
But shouldn't we have a contingency plan?
We can certainly take a look at it, but I think our objective, our goal,
Yeah.
and our public position is
With this
to
budget.
move forward on a level services
Right,
budget.
same thing we did, exactly same thing we did last year.
Move forward with a level services budget.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Modified level services.
Modified. Thank you.
But I'm wondering if do we need a workshop then or no?
I think we should have a workshop, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong.
But at the workshop, we to discuss contingencies, right?
We can do that, and we can take a look at some of
Maybe
these
other
future-
ideas, right.
Yeah.
Because I would like to bring forward to you, after I've had a chance to work with the administrative council, some of their recommendations for contingency
should.
planning.
So when do you think should we put that off till early April, or?
Or that last week in March, after the Batchelder School meeting, another night that week?
Okay. So that batch meeting is we're meeting at the batch on the 28th.
Yes. And the 29th, or the 31st, the Tuesday or the Thursday?
To me, it doesn't matter, the school committee's first priority anyway, so
Thank you.
it doesn't matter what day it is.
Just don't do it on April 1st.
No, April 1st would probably be a bad night, you're right, Cliff.
It's a Friday.
That's a bad one.
Should we do it on Wednesday, the 30th?
There's a parent presentation at the high school I'd like to attend.
Okay. Thursday, the 31st?
The 31st? Sounds good. This would be the workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
And
March
we usually used to
31st?
do the workshops a little earlier, but I know Michael and Karen might have a hard time getting here earlier, so you want to just do it, say 7 to,
We're able to make some of the policy subcommittee meetings earlier.
should we say 7 to 9?
What's the
or-
earliest they can get
You
here?
could get there a little
Could you get here at
early.
6:30 maybe? Say start at 6:30 on the 31st? And then, the last time we asked you this, Kathy, you didn't deliver. We'd like to have pizza if we could. Remember how hungry we were the last meeting? Didn't get the pizza?
I'm never going to live that down.
David used to bring us pizza.
He
Right,
Oh,
David used to bring us
gosh.
pizza.
He made us
cup.
pay for it, but he
Right.
brought it.
He actually made us pay before we ate it. He wouldn't even know.
Made us pay before he ordered it.
Right.
I will make sure we have pizza.
Can I make one other recommendation?
Okay.
For the Batchelder meeting, in addition to just an update or a report on the secondary school building, maybe we can just do a brief, more detailed presentation, because we're going to have an audience there. And I think it could be part of our getting the word out, particularly to that constituency, I mean, the elementary school. So that maybe just something to show them where we're at that point in time, where we've progressed to, and you know, the stage of the proceedings, and what our, what the secondary school building committee's position is on this, okay?
That's actually a good idea, because, as you said,
Something
to
a
get
little
the-
bit more elaborate.
to get the elementary constituency there. It's only a couple of days away from when we hope to be before the MSBA board to get our designer approved. So
Yep.
let's have, so we could have maybe somebody from
Something
the.
to show them, too, you know, maybe
Would you like me
even,
to ask Chris to come?
it's not a bad idea, yeah. And put something together. And I'm not talking about anything too long, because obviously, you know, won't have the time, but something to
Right.
get their attention.
Sure, sure.
And then we need to schedule our budget hearing, correct?
Yes.
Now, several years ago, we used to do it after we approved the budget, and I always used to wonder, what is the point of having a budget hearing before we approve the budget? So, if we could maybe, instead of our April 11th meeting, could that be the budget hearing on April 11th?
Sure could.
And we do it in the large group room, right?
This is the perfect year. We're having a
Is that
meeting on
okay?
Valentine's Day and my anniversary. That's perfect. Perfect.
Where's your priority?
Thank you, Kathy.
That's
Where's your
Welcome.
priority
right
today?
here.
Huh?
Where are your priorities?
Right here?
Budget hearing will be on April 11th in the large group room
April 11th.
At 7 o'clock.
at 7 PM.
mean, you can bring your, Jerry, maybe you can take your wife,
No,
bring your
no,
wife to
no,
the meeting.
No, this is perfect.
Bring it along.
Mel, for the audience, and to remind me, actually, what's the difference between the workshop and the hearing? Who's going to be there and what can we expect?
The
And what do you
workshop
want-
will be an open meeting. We usually meet in the superintendent's office, and we just kind of bang around ideas as to,
I think the distinction too is that the workshop is generally the school committee trying to
Okay, that's
put
what I
together their
wanted.
thoughts, and the hearing is where the public attends and gives input, generally, that's,
And we are required by law to have a budget hearing.
yeah.
and I would say, I would hope that we'll have the workshop on the 31st, that on the 11th, if need be, we can talk about some of the areas we might need to cut or to shift around in order to, if we had to, for a contingency budget. I mean, we're gonna go forward with this level services, but, you know, people are gonna have questions as to, well, if the money's not there, what are you gonna cut? And I think we need to have those ideas by then.
Can I make a recommendation? I know that it's always been extremely valuable for the principals.
Right.
To participate in that event.
Yes.
And also for the Director of People Personnel Services and Academic Services as well.
Yeah, Kathy, those have worked really well. Deanna's right. The last few years, we've had all the principals, Director of Pupil Personnel, probably Director of Academic
the
Services.
One year, we even did a forum, I don't know if you remember it, Deanna, where we
Right.
conducted a forum
They
where
did a
each of the
presentation, yeah.
principals and everybody got up and made a presentation, yeah.
Right. And then we'll vote on the budget on the 25th. So if there's any need after the 11th to have a meeting between them, we'll just schedule it after the 11th if we have to, between the 11th and the 25th.
That's school vacation week, but we can do it.
Of course we can.
We can do anything.
Because we think we can.
Well, maybe we could schedule it on like the 14th or 13th or 14th
right.
if we have to.
Yes, we can. Okay.
Anything else on the budget?
Anything
Great job.
you want?
Moving right along.
Carl, anything to conclude, or?
No, thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, next, we did the CAST project.
Calendar.
2010, 2011 school calendar. Kathy, I think this relates to snow days, correct?
Yes, it do.
Yes, it does. In your packet. Just have to pull my packet together here. Talking about the 2010-2011 school year. 5 snow days are included in the school calendar as required by Mass General Law. And this year, North Reading School District has used 4 out of the 5 days that had been allotted in the school calendar this year, as well as a delayed opening. Since there's still the potential for more snow, I thought it would be very important for us to have a conversation this evening as to what our contingency plan would be should we exceed the 5 snow days that have been included in this year's calendar. What I also included for you in your packet was a recent advisory that was put out by the Commissioner of Education regarding student learning time, and it addressed what happens if you exceed your snow days and made some suggestions for consideration around what you should do. So in his memo, he indicated some of the actions that could be taken would be to cancel or shorten either the February or April vacations, convert scheduled professional development days into school days for students, hold school days on Saturday, keep school open on Good Friday, or add days later in June beyond the originally scheduled last day of school. Well, it's important for you to know we don't have any professional development days to convert to school days. February vacation is next week. We have April vacation. Good Friday is included in April vacation this year, so that's not an option. But we do have 5 additional calendar days or weekdays in the month of June past our last scheduled school day.
But right now, we're scheduled to get out on the 22nd of June, right?
That is correct.
That's a Thursday, correct?
Correct.
So we have 6 days.
Yes, we still have one more snow day.
Right, so that would.
Built into our
if-
calendar.
If all the snow days are used, all 5 snow days, the 23rd will be the last day of school.
Correct.
Then after that, we have a week.
That's right. We have 5 weekdays. So we'd have a Friday and then 4 days the next
Common
week.
sense would seem to dictate we just add them on to the end of the school
That's
year.
what I would do too. I wouldn't want to take away from vacation.